So alright guys, in this video we will be doing the LFI basics room from TryHackMe, and the IP address is 10.10.88.249. So copy this IP address and go to this. So the basically the website has so there are 3 steps. Open the first one. So we need to add the page parameter, like say index.html. So basically the file inclusion means including the file contents without copying that code into our own file. So that means you have this page, but you can include the contents of other pages using this page parameter. So whenever this input is not sanitized properly, so this can lead to reading the file systems like passwd, shadow file and other SSH configuration files. So that's why the web developer should put the correct sanitizations here. So you can see the backend code is request of page parameter. So whatever the file name you are passing into the page, it is directly including as a local file. So there is no filter for the forward slashes or passwd files, etc. So now what we are going to do is you need to include some file, let's say index.html, and you can see I think there are no contents for this index.html. We can choose hc passwd, and now you can see the file. You can search for the users, and you can also search for any users that do not have encrypted password or no password. So there is a user LFI. If you want to get the neat output, press Ctrl U, so you can get some clean output here. So you can see LFI is user home LFI bin bash. So you can also try for the first let's scan this. Let's try for shadow file. So whenever there are no sufficient permissions for our user, that is like www data or any other user, so the file will not be included. So here what they are telling is so there is a page named credit card, so go to that and you also move to the up directory. So let's do this, credit card. Okay, this is in the second walkthrough, so these are in different folders. So you can see by going up the directory, you can access the pages in the up directories. So you can also go like this. So go to few up directories, and then you can ask for hc passwd, since you will get the same result. So this is called directed traversing. So you are traversing backwards and then getting the hc passwd file. So finally we will be doing the reaching RCE. So we will be executing the code with log parsing. To get better understanding, you need to scan the machine and see what ports are open. So only web port is open, so that means you can send logs using, you can Python the Apache logs. Okay, so click on Vaporizer and you can see Apache is running and PHP is the backend programming language. Now what we are going to do is Apache log location. So searching for this, and you can see here few directories depending upon the operating system. Nmap did not detect operating system, so not a problem. So there are some few directories according to the operating system. For CentOS, Fedora, Red Hat. This is the directory. Okay, that did not work out, so copy this and now you can see the logs. So that means it is a type of Debian or Ubuntu. So there is a lot of content here. Okay, now what we are going to do is we are going to poison these logs. So basically what we are going to do is, since it's using the PHP programming language, we will send the PHP code into this file. So error.log, so sorry, I need access.log. So now you can see it's access.log. I did not recognize before the get request and etc. So whatever you send here, it will be reflected in this file. So whenever we are executing this PHP script, it will be executed by the backend. So let's copy this URL. I think we need to do for the third walkthrough, but I think it should work for any of these since they are hosting from the same computer. So let's try this. Now hit enter. Now instead of this user agent, so delete this user agent. So since it's using PHP, let's write small code to execute the commands. So make sure you have no mistakes in this. If you have any mistakes, then when you read out this access log, you will not get executed. Okay, your command will not execute and you need to restart the machine. So terminate this machine and you need to start the machine again. So PHP system get command and execute as a system. Okay, that's fine. Now forward this. So what we can do is now put ampersand and we are going to send the cmd as a parameter. Cmd is equals to, now what we can do is which Python. Now you can search for usr bin Python. Now you can see we got the code execution. usr bin Python is there. Okay, you can see there is only one result because there are no previous result for this usr bin Python. Now what you can do is you can grab a reverse shell, so copy this one and you can see we got the shell, and you can also see the directory structure. So lfi, lfi2, index.html. So okay, I am going to exit this one. Let's close all the tabs and let's go and do this with Python. So what is the input point? This is the input point. So copy this one. So let's import the request module and URL is this one. So delete the HC passwd file. So what we can do is, let's say file name is equals to, I want HC passwd file, right? Now I can simply say request dot get. So this is the get method, URL plus file name. So this is these two strings gets concatenated and it will be the full URL, and I want to print the result. So printf r.text. So this is very simple script. Let's go and execute, and you can see we got the data. The same output you can see in the web browser. Now you can also let's say like extended underscore URL. So you can add some paths here, up paths. You can also put the extended URL plus file name. So this should give the result same. So we got the same result. So now what we want to do is, we want to brute force this point. So we want to search for like SSH private keys or any other configuration files. So now what we're going to do is search for LFI brute force list. So go to this GitHub link, and there is a list.txt. So these are all the configuration files and other juicy information you can find. So save it to the Linux box. So mine is in lfi.txt. I have renamed it to lfi.txt, and it's in home arrow tools word list. So copy this. Now what we are going to do is, we are going to read each and every line of the file, and we are going to send the request. Let's say fd file descriptor is equals to open lfi.txt, comma. So we need to pass one argument, that is either read or write. So we are going to do the read. So let's say r, and then at the last we are going to close the file descriptor. Okay, we are opening, and we need to loop over each line into this. Okay, so we can simply say for I in fd. So it will iterate over each line. Alright, now what you can do is, you can hit the tab. So for every line in this text file, what I need to do is, I need to append it at this file name, right? So all you can do is, let's say file name is equals to I, or you can simply delete this file name and you can put this I, right? So let's run this. So there will be one problem. If you notice, and you can see passwd, and there is the new line, because in our word list there is a new line for each line, right? So we are going to truncate this using this one. So from 0 to ending, but one character, right? -1. So -1 indicates the last character of the file name. So if you take an example, cupcd.configuration, so take this line, 0 is the forward slash, and 1 is e, 2 is t, etc., and up to so on. And if you count from backwards, this is -1, this is -2, this is -3, and -4, etc. And 0 is to -1 in the sense from starting to except last character. So this will be excluded. So in our case, the new line is the last character, and that will be excluded. So printf r.text. Okay, so now let's go and run this. See, now you can see we are getting some results, file included, and we also got the result for HC passwd, right? So if you allow the script to run, you will get a lot of results, because each file, for each request there is a response, right? So we need to filter out these false responses, right? So okay, now what we are going to do is, let's first print the length of r.text file. So you can see these two requests, there is only one difference. You can say on the based on length. So you can see, consider these two responses, almost US or local. So you can see there is some difference between this. Now what I am going to do is, I am going to find the length of this file name. So this is the file name, right? So copy this and say length of this one. So length is 37, right? Let's first run this one, then we will decide what to exclude. Oh my bad. And also print the response. So we need to print actual response too. Okay, now I am going to stop here. So the file included is, so let's see two different responses. So 118. So these two responses, let's calculate for these two. So this file length is 29, and it has been repeated 2 times, right? So you can see here and here. So it's 58. So there are 58 extra characters from 118, right? So what you can say is 118 minus 58, which gives you 60. So let's calculate the same for this one. This one 130, right? So let's copy this. 35. So there are 2 times, right? 2 times this file has been included from the whole length of 130 characters. So 130 minus 70, it's 60. So that means the default response without the file name is 60. Okay, so now what we can do is, after getting the request, first let's say original size is equals to 60. So this is the original size is 60. Now what we can do is, we can say temp is equals to length of r.text. So this is the total length, and you can say temp2 is equals to, from total length we need to subtract 2 times length of the I. So I is this one. So what is this? I is the every file we are brute forcing. Why 2 times? Because we have the 2 times of occurrence in a response. So generally this is like a tedious task, but in general there will be response of 0 length, so it will be very easy. But here in this room they have included some explanation to get us understand that file included and local file to be used. So that's why we need to filter this one. So after deleting the total length minus the file length, you will get the original response. So if temp2 greater than original size, so that means there is some actual content returned to you other than this empty content. So okay, So then what we are going to do is print of r dot text and print of length of r dot text, that is temp. So now let's go and run this. Now we will get only the 5 outputs that are actually having some meaningful content. Now hit enter. Oh no. Okay, let's see where we did wrong. Okay, I'm sorry, you need to put this one 0 is to -1. So because we are counting as a slash and also as a one character, so that's why we got the length wrong. Now we should get only the results that have some meaningful content. Oh, still we are not getting that one. I think 60 is the wrong number. Okay, now we just print this temp2 and let's see. Okay, 94. Okay, why it's taking 94? Let's temp. Wow. Temp is total length. -118 minus 2 into length of this file. And we also put the print of temp2. So we should get 60. So we are getting 94. Okay, no problem. So I think maybe I have done something wrong here. So what we can say is, if temp2, you can just simply change the 94. Okay, I don't know why the 94 is coming. So okay, maybe I am poor in max. So okay, if the after difference we have got every response length without the file name as 94. So if our response that is greater than 94, that means there is some meaningful content. Okay, so let's go and run this, and now you can see we get only the files that contains meaningful content. So the first one is HC passwd file, and you can wait for some time. So okay, I'm going to show you how to. So I'm stopping this and it will take some time. So let's move to the next part, that is log poisoning using the Python. So let's delete all this one. Now what we are going to do is we are going to create the headers. So in that we need to modify the user agent. So that's what we did in the burp suite, right? So user agent, and the value is, put the double quotes first, and php system of $_get of single quote command. So this is the headers, and we need to send this at here, r is equals to request dot get of URL plus extended URL plus the file name, comma headers is equals to headers. So after sending this, you can normally go to browser and fetch any result for any commands you can type. So that's all for this video, and you can see this takes some time, but it's definitely faster than burp suite community edition, which have only one thread.